Welcome along to the Record Club, brought to you by Record Store Day, the official charts, and National Album Day, and proudly in association with Bowers and Wilkins. My name is Jess Iszatt, and we're excited to say that our guest today is Good Neighbours, on to talk about their debut album, Blue Sky Mentality. If you've hung out with us here before, you will know that we're going to be spending the next half an hour or so talking to Oli and Scott all about the new record, and then we're going to be putting forward some of your questions about the album for them to answer. So, if you want to get involved, drop us a question in the comments section. I'll be asking a selection of them in the second half of our chat. And on top of that, one lucky person who sends in a question today is going to be randomly selected to win a pair of Bowers and Wilkins PX7 Season 2 over-ear noise cancelling headphones. I'm modelling some now for you. Don't miss out. Get your questions to us, and you could be in with a chance of winning some. Also, if you haven't already got yourself a copy, I have my hands on a physical copy of the album, Blue Sky Mentality. Remember to order one from your local record store once our chat with our guest is over. But first, let's get straight into this week's Record Club and say a big hello to Good Neighbours. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
How's it going?
Yeah, good. Talk to me about where you are in the world right now.
Yeah,
We are in Texas.
in Austin, in a very hot part of town, seemingly. But that's why we're inside, because it's the only place we can get some AC and not sweat all day long.
Okay. Yeah. How is Texas in general treating you? Have you been there before?
No, this is our first time in Austin, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like probably one of the best American cities we've been to. But yeah, it's for ACL, so like the whole city is just coming alive for that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I've
Yeah.
actually never been, so the review sounds good, except it sounds ridiculously hot. Even
Yeah,
like
come
you
in
were
winter.
saying on stage, it was a bit mad.
Yeah, it was like 33 degrees. I think it'd be really cute around like autumn, Christmas time as well. There's a good atmosphere.
Okay, noted. So each week on the Record Club, we like to kick things off with a question from one of the many amazing independent record stores that we have in the UK. And this week's question comes from Slow Progress Records in Edinburgh. And they're asking, did you feel any pressure when crafting this album right after your viral hit Home? Did it feel like there was a need to show off more of who you are as a band, or did you find it easier to lean into what people enjoyed so much already?
I would say we definitely didn't feel any pressure off of Home, which has always been like quite a nice thing to say to people. But like Home for us, we thought was a good song, but I think that was sheer like the universe taking over and making that song go viral. That wasn't like us being like, this one's gonna go viral. It was maybe like the sixth or seventh song we had written as well. So we had half the album, like Keep It Up, Ripple, and a few of the other ones that are on the album were already ready to go before Home. So I think we thought they were the good songs, and Home was like another solid track for the album. So when that went crazy, it was like a bonus and also kind of a shove that we needed to start the whole project. Um, so yeah, I would say we didn't feel any pressure, and honestly, the album to us is, like you say, just a chance to express like the musicality and the message of Good Neighbours a bit further.
Mm. Obviously, big shout out to Slow Progress Records in Edinburgh for that question. Okay, yeah, congrats, the debut album. Um, yeah, huge congratulations. How does that feel having a debut record that already has a hit, like we've already mentioned? What does it feel like having your baby out in the world?
It's pretty surreal, I think. Yeah, especially like being this far away from home as well, and like having it just come out at home and everyone's like messages and stuff. It feels good. It's weird.
It's like it's our birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the response been like from maybe people closer to you that you hadn't shared it with prior to its release?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, honestly, yeah, a lot of like peers, like a lot of the musicians in London and stuff have reached out to be like, guys, this is like a seriously good album, which is really nice and like validating when you hear it from like a fellow musician. Obviously, we know our fans already sort of love our vibe. So it's nice to hear from people that maybe don't listen to us already and have come across it through like other means to get some nice words from them was really cool.
I know that both of you have had music careers prior to Good Neighbours. Can you talk to us about what the initial conversations were like to create Good Neighbours? Like when Good Neighbours actually became the band, maybe it was like the first session together or like your first musical memory. Where were the beginnings for Good Neighbours?
I think it was never really like discussed. We were never like, let's make a band. It was kind of just like, yeah, like you say, we've been trying to do music full time for so long. And then like we both kind of got to the same place at the same time where we were like, can we even do this anymore?
Yeah.
Like it, and then we like kind of bonded over that, like struggling. Yeah. And we're like, let's just make something aimlessly. And then this kind of came out of that.
Yeah, it's actually so annoying because it's like the one exercise we hadn't tried was just to make music for the love of making music and to like alleviate some stress of like what was happening in our lives, like in terms of working part-time jobs every hour of the day and all of that stuff, and like scrapping about to get your rent over the line. And then we just did one session where we were like, let's just vent musically. And yeah, it was like we just made, I think we made Keep It Up in that session. And as soon as we heard that, we were like, this is so annoying, but I don't think we can let this one fly without like trying that again, like that sort of formula. And so when it worked almost every single time, we did a session in this like vein of like this optimistic indie sort of pop world. Every time we had a session, a song would come out. It was like, I think we went like 4 for 4 with like, it was like Keep It Up, Ripple, Daisies, maybe Skipping Stones, all like one after the other. So we're like, okay, someone in the universe is being like, you guys should be a band. This is clearly what you're going to do.
And how long was this album in the making? So like, maybe give us a timeline of like when those sessions were happening, and then, am I right in thinking that a lot of it was recorded or written on the road as well? Like, yeah, what was the
Yeah.
timeline? What began it and what ended it essentially?
It was kind of like we kind of had half of it almost before we even started, like so before we released Home or anything, and we were just writing for fun. Like Ollie said, we kind of got half of the album already in that. Maybe it was like 3 months or something.
Yeah.
And then it was, yeah, that all came out and we went straight on the road. So like the other half of the album is kind of just like pieced together in the back of a van or like backstage and yeah, on the go.
It's quite cool because I feel like the sound as well, if you listen real like carefully, you can hear that the maturing of our, I guess like our education of what people like about Good Neighbours. There's like Scott says, like a 6 month gap where we were just touring. So you've got all of those songs which are actually like the bigger hitters on the album, and then the ones that fill in the gaps are like us, maybe a bit more educated as to what Good Neighbours is, like Kids Can't Sleep and The Buzz and Wonderful Life and stuff.
Yeah, you've mentioned The Buzz. I feel like that one is sonically, I guess, the most different, or like, piano strings and it wraps the album, it bookends the album. Was that purposeful?
No, we just know we're like big ballad headed, like anyway, like we love all of that stuff. And it was the one thing we didn't have in our arsenal. We wrote a song called Weekend Boy that came out a while ago, and that was basically a ballad. But even that had a rhythm to it. And so we were just desperate. We had a bit of time to kill after finishing the album. And our friend Phil Plested was in town and wanted to write. We're like, who better to try and help us like navigate a ballad? And we wrote it so fast as well.
And it was also like after we'd submitted the album. So it was like a real like squeeze this one on.
And we were back in that like zero pressure zone, which was probably really good because we were like, this might come out at some point. And so we had that freedom of mind to just write something a bit shameless and sad.
Where did Blue Sky Mentality come as a title? And I've noticed that it's potentially a lyric in Skipping Stones, or did it come
Kind of, yeah.
a little bit?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it probably did come from that. But right at the beginning, when we were like unknowingly making Good Neighbours, I think we had like something silly like 7 part-time jobs between us in order to get a bit of time in a studio. And that honestly is just the climate of the music scene in London, especially at the moment. I know, like, you just don't get paid for anything until a song comes out. So we were just a bit like down on our luck and a bit annoyed. And then we had this string of sessions between other bits of work, where we were making Good Neighbours, but we didn't know it was Good Neighbours, and just kept leaving the session feeling like, wow, like this is something, like there's something on the horizon here. And I think that in itself gave us this like blue sky mentality where we felt like we could talk about anything in the song. Like Keep It Up, for example, is all about like me losing a job that I really, really couldn't lose in terms of like finances and stuff. But I got it out in the song, and then like with Scott's production that's so like bright, breezy, and like hopeful, you make this blue sky mentality thing happen of like, it's okay. It's not okay, but it is okay. So that then became like the rub for our writing, and we just try and take that into every song now.
Is there a particular artist, or like, was there a particular artist that you were listening to when you were creating this record? I'm kind of getting like hints of Passion Pit meets MGMT meets like Foster the People, but I don't know if that's like a conscious thing, or maybe you actively don't like to listen to stuff like influences when creating a record.
Yeah, it wasn't conscious at all, really. Like Oli had never heard of Passion Pit before, but like it was yeah, it's the first time like we'd sung like that or tried to make music like that. And then it was like, oh, this kind of feels like nostalgic for some reason. And then after that we kind of like dove back into all of them artists that kind of got not forgotten about, but like they became a bit like uncool for a while. And we were like, why is that uncool? It's all so good.
It's amazing.
So yeah, we kind of delved back into it.
Yeah, it's so funny because I actually only know about Passion Pit because I saw them like a million years ago supporting the Killers. This was like, it must have been so long ago, and so it like this album made me go look them up and see like where they're at. Are they even still making music? Like, yeah,
they're playing here this
are
week.
they?
Yeah.
Oh my God, say hi.
We're gonna try and they're playing in a park, so we might go and try and see that.
Yeah, it's kind of and you kind of look at it and I think almost in a way how like Good Neighbours was born out of you being frustrated separately with the industry. And then it kind of made me think about these other bands that are still like touring and doing stuff, but I just, because I don't know, I didn't have them on social media or whatever. I'm pretty sure I saw them before I even had an Instagram. So yeah, I don't know, that like that kind of nostalgia, it all kind of feeds into each other. Before we get, I can see some questions are getting sent in. I want to talk to you about the artwork. What is so is it's not even for some reason it looked like a collage to me on a first look, but it's a photo. Yeah,
it's real. Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, that is real.
We got all them people in one room. I guess the
guys are paid.
That might be fake. Yeah.
Well, actually, they're all paid actors, but especially it's fake.
But who are these people? Did they represent anything, or were you just what's the deal?
General theme was meant to be like, so we used these 2 boys, the young boys, in the Ripple video, and they were signifying the young version of us, and we were like, oh, it'd be fun to like carry on that theme and have the old version of us at the back. So Scott's in the hat, I'm standing up, saying something to him. But yeah, it's meant to be like the generational of the blue sky mentality and like where it can take you. And then we worked with our lovely creative Joe Mortimer, who's a bit of a genius, and he was just like, where do you spend most of your time? We're like in cafes and like coffee shops and stuff. And he was like, well, let's take like all of that crazy like blue sky exuberance and then put it into like a really normal common place that you would sit. And so that's where it all takes place now in this like blue sky cafe. And there's a lot of like creative that's going to come out with the album that like revolves around that, which is a really fun idea.
Do you have any cafes you want to shout out?
We should shout out that cafe.
Yeah, Max's Cafe
in Bermondsey.
Yeah,
very cool.
Nice.
And did they serve you the beans on toast with the smiley?
It was cold by the time the pictures came around.
Yeah, we didn't eat that though. They're fake bites, I'm sorry.
We got a really good picture with the owner of the cafe though.
Yeah,
it's hung up in our studio now.
That was actually really good.
I'm obsessed with that. Well, I actually genuinely think beans on toast is meal of kings anyway. So appreciated that a lot. And also anyone who gets the record, you've got that, but that's actually on the record, and the record is blue, which is very in theme,
always
which
cute,
is fitting. We love it. Was there a surprising fan favorite on the record since the release? One that you were like, oh, I didn't think people would be onto that one so much.
Maybe Kids, I would say.
Yeah,
a lot of people have been picking up on that quite recently. I think because we just rejigged our live set as well. So we did like a small album tour in the UK, and then we've just started touring out here in America. But like on that UK tour, I feel like we did something different with Kids and just started like putting a bit more energy into it. And people came up to us and were like, that's the one. And so I'm glad that now the record's out, they can go and like rinse that as much as they want.
And also, I wanted to ask because in Ripple, there's a couple questions in there saying where do you want to go and what do you want to see. I always find that like when that's like repeated in a song, you guys must have yourself like thought about that and thought about the answers to those questions. So maybe that could be with your band or personally. But where do you want to go and what would you guys want to see?
Good question.
Mm-hmm. Where do I want to go? Tokyo.
I knew you were going to say that.
What do I want to see?
People in Tokyo.
Yeah, people like a really small ramen bar in Tokyo.
Oh, that would be good. I would like to go. I'd honestly like to. It's just sounding so bleak. I want to go home, but I do because I haven't seen my friends for loads of like a really long period of time. So I would like. I'm really looking forward to the Christmas time, getting back in a pub with loads of Guinness with my friends.
That sounds like a bit of me, yes. Well, you deserve to be on home ground celebrating this, so soon come. Right, we have Cam on the Record Club's Facebook page says, does writing on the road provide limitations and change the way you write?
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, it's
but good limitations, I think.
Yeah, it also means we do it in like little stints instead of like doing like a 6-hour session. It'll just be like 40 minutes here. Like it makes it quite disjointed, but in like a good way, so you don't get bored.
Yeah, and you don't have. Well, we didn't have most of our instruments and most of our like synths and stuff and like tricks to use. So like, especially for kids or something like that that we're producing up on the road, like you dumb everything down, which is always a great exercise, I think, of songwriting. People don't want to be overfed too much production sometimes, and you can definitely bury the message in a great production. So it was nice for us to like go bare bones with a lot of our song, and force us to like make sure the lyrics are right, make sure all of the individual like foundation bits are really strong before getting too fluffy with it.
Is there a track that you're lyrically most proud of?
Definitely like the buzz I'm really proud of because I really love a song like that where you like sort of hang on every line and it's quite slow and it's like carrying on to the next line the whole way through. But I think Wonderful Life probably is the lyrically strongest on the album, maybe. And just means the most to me personally. I think that one's really cool.
We have Cole on Record Store's Facebook saying, were there any songs cut from the album? If so, what changed your mind?
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
There's like there's one that's only on the vinyls. That I think we might sneak onto the deluxe called Somebody. Why did we not put it on? I think we just
keep chefing that one.
Yeah, we haven't got it right yet.
There's a really good song in there because we shot ourselves in the foot. We had like half a demo and we started playing it live loads. And we have a really good live version, but it also uses all the audience and it's a real moment live. And people always used to come up to us and be like, when's that coming out? So there's almost too much pressure for the song to come out. And so when we produced it, it just felt like you were underselling it. But I think we're onto something. We're nearly there with it.
Okay, we'll have to wait for that one.
Yeah.
We also have Tom on Official Charts X. Was there a theme or emotion that you wanted to capture across the whole album?
I guess like nostalgia and like we see it as like a coming of age album, definitely.
Like you'll be okay if that was a thing. I guess optimism. But yeah, that's how the whole album makes me feel. Is like growing up is pretty mental, but it is all fine, and everyone's going through it at the same time.
Yeah, I definitely like I've made a note about skipping stones and I was like, even that as an activity is like nostalgic and you usually do it with like, I don't know, your parents and or like on a family trip. So yeah, definitely encapsulates that. We have Adrian on the Record Club's Instagram saying, what's been your favorite gig so far?
I think Glastonbury was just like so big for us.
Yeah.
It was such a huge one. So it has to be that for me.
Yeah, that definitely. But I think honourable mention. We had one gig in Milwaukee, that Summerfest one. There was just we had 3 gigs in 2 days, and they were like everywhere. And we played this gig on genuinely like 1 hour's sleep, maybe 2 hours sleep. So we were all completely delirious, and our gig was at like 9 p.m. the next day. And so like barely anyone was talking, and we just got on stage, and for some reason it was like the crowd could sense that we needed it, and they just went feral for it, and it was great. It was the sweatiest gig as well. It was so much fun. Like that one always sticks in my head.
I definitely think that's one of the best things about live music is where the energy's like it's fed both ways, isn't it? Like a crowd can make or break a gig. Like you can do the best you can, but if the crowd's up for it too, then
100%.
it really, really helps, doesn't it? I want to know because you're currently in America. What's next for you guys as a band, like live music wise? Are you hitting loads of dates? You're touring, right?
We are touring a
Soon?
lot, yeah. We're going.
And does that mean whereabouts are you headed and where are you excited to go?
We're going back to Australia and New Zealand. I don't think we've announced some of them yet, but we are. We're doing that before the end of the year, which will be fun.
We're doing loads more in America. We've got like another month and a half here. And then and then we've got UK and Europe next year.
And when you go to new places that you haven't been before, do you make a point of checking the like local place out if you have time?
Yeah, if we have time, it's very rare. Like we're often just rocking up for the show, driving on to the next place. But this has been amazing, like being in Austin, because we're playing both weekends of ACL. So we've just been here all week, which is honestly incredible. We feel very like rejuvenated and like rested, which is really good. And it's a great city to be like plonked in right now.
Yeah, that's very cool. And I also hate asking this when you've got a new project out, but obviously I am interested. Are you working on like whatever's next musically already, or are you like letting this one sit?
We actually haven't yet.
No,
we're gonna tackle the deluxe and sneak some new things on that. That's like a chance for us to get back into it.
I think that's a good idea. I just don't think there's any rush to rush a next album unless you like, because often albums come out, but that music's been made a long time ago. But I think in your case, not so.
It's quite fresh.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, that is all we have time for today. Obviously, thank you so much, Scott and Ollie, Good Neighbours, for joining us. We have a physical copy here. Make sure you get your own. The record Blue Sky Mentality. Now that this episode of the Record Club is over, support your local record store. Also excited to announce before we finish that the winner of this week's Bowers and Wilkins wireless headphones prize is Tom on the Official Charts Twitter. Please slide into the Record Club's DMs. We'll get those headphones to you. My name's Jess Iszatt. Thank you everyone for joining us and sending in your questions. This and all previous episodes are available to watch back on Spotify or YouTube. I'll see you for the next episode of the Record Club. But for now, Scott and Ollie, Good Neighbours, thank you so much.
See you later. Thanks for having us.